What's up, guys? Welcome back once again to Keither.net S&P E-mini 500 chart review. So the first thing I'm going to do, just like I've done in my previous videos, to check out what happened yesterday and overnight. So this is yesterday's action. We had a nice trending up pattern into the close, and then it went sideways. Overnight, it trended back down, went sideways a little bit, trended down, came up and hit the 21 EMA, continued downward, and I guess I just kind of went into the day there. But let's see, now that we know this, it trended up, it came down. As I said before, very often at the open or the close, it'll do the opposite of what has been happening. Or if there's some trend, a pattern that you can distinguish, it will carry over. So let's see what happened here. Okay, we're at the open. We're right below the 21 EMA. And we break out above it. And we're pulling back. We do not touch it yet. And there we go. We touched the 21 EMA. The first movement of the day. It's really up to you if you want to be. I consider this more aggressive, the first move of the day. This did break up. You have this nice down pattern, so you could say that it kind of trended down and then broke back up, which matches yesterday's action. A lot of time I like to wait for the first leg and catch the second leg of the trend. But for the purpose of this video, let's go ahead and pretend that we would take this if it gives us a signal. So this is going to be there's our signal bar. And we would get in at anything above this, so 1990.75, and we were just taken in on this candle here, which does not look strong to the upside, but we'll see what happens. And there we go. This trade actually did work. 1990.75, it went all the way up to 93. So as I've said in my previous videos, I'm looking for 1 point at a time, so that's more than a point, and that's one successful trade on the day. So it went up, it's kind of drifting back down, and this kind of action right here is actually really, really nice. We actually saw it here. We had a nice little flag pattern where it didn't really move back to the 21 EMA. It kind of drifted and grinded back. And now look at this again. We came up, and now we're kind of drifting and grinding back again. So let's just go ahead and draw that in something like that. And let's continue and see what it does here. And it immediately broke out right there. And it came back down, and it's back to the 21 EMA. So now we're going to see what does it do after it pulled back. Okay, it's pulling back a little further. It's going sideways. A lot of indecision right here. That's not a very strong candle after this piercing low candle right here, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to take this as a signal bar right here. Here we came down, we tested the low here. And now this would be the signal bar, and anything above this would be. But this one is so weak, I would wait for something like this. So if this breaks above 1992.75, so 1993 even, we will go long here. And it did not break out. And we actually broke back down. So we're waiting and seeing, waiting and seeing. And we completely broke down. So at this point, we have broke down. We have a leg up, and then here we had a lower high right there. So the reason, as I was saying, this was so weak of a signal bar, it was worth waiting for the next bar or the next candle. And since we waited, we got this high here, and it did not break above that. So we did not get an entry. And now we broke down, so we're going to be looking for short, going short. And look at that. That is a huge, huge move. And there's no way to play this per the strategy, really, unless you want to consider this pulling back to the 21 EMA, or you just want to go ahead and say, okay, here's the leg up, and we broke down here. And honestly, if I was being a little more aggressive, not just taking trades on my strategy, I would take this because we trended up and then we broke this after a lower high right here. So I may have gotten in at 1990.25, so 1990 even, and I could possibly catch part of this, but per the strategy, per this video, I'm not going to say that. So far on the day, we have one successful trade. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so we had this huge breakdown here, and it pulled back to the 21 EMA. We have our signal bar, so let's look for anything under 86.50, so 86.25, we want to go short. And we did not get that. It was rejected with this huge bar. So we're getting a little back and forth action right now. It fell off really quickly. I'm not sure if maybe there was news here or there's some kind of announcement. I did not get a chance to trade today. I did not see what happened. So we're just going to leave that as it is. But for whatever reason, we had this huge correction after this huge down movement right here. Okay, so now we had this nice trend up. We're above the 21 EMA. We're seeing what it's going to do here. We just broke even. Nope, we're not quite breaking the high. We're one tick away, so let's see what happens. Okay, we got a nice little pullback here. And as you can see, look at this right here. I drew this in for this little flagging pattern. Not only did it work here, but it hit here. And then now that we're back up here, look at this. It came up, it pulled back, and it's finding this as support. So I'm going to go ahead and be a little bit more aggressive. It did not touch the 21 EMA, but it's catching on this level right here. So I'm going to say anything above this, 1993.25, we're going to go long. And we are in. That's not the prettiest candle, but let's see what happens. Okay, and we did get pulled back to the 21 EMA, but as it's still at the 21 EMA and it's still at this level, I would not be too worried. I'd still be in this trade, I believe. 1991.25. Definitely. So we got on at 1993.25 and it only pulled back to 1991.25. So that's right at our stop, but we would still be in this trade. And now it looks like we're going to move. Nope, we broke down again. So this is just a lot of sideways action. And then look at this, we did break up. So if you could sit in this trade for a couple points, you would have had a successful trade. And given this level that I drew in back here, I keep mentioning this again and again because it's so beautiful. I had not reviewed this chart and I drew this in, and it just played it perfectly. So I would not be too quick to get out of this trade. I'd probably wait until I saw a clear breakdown. So I'm going to say that I would still be in this trade right now. And I believe, let's take a look here. I believe we're in at 93.25, 94.75. So we definitely got our point there. Had to pause the video real quick there, but I'm back. So that was our second successful trade there on the day. And let's just see what happens here. Okay, that's a beautiful candle right there. It tried to push up and it got pushed all the way back down. Now that doesn't mean it's weak, but that means it's probably done moving for right now. It's probably going to pull back to the 21 EMA, if not further, maybe breakdown. And there we go. We pulled back deep into it, but this nice little candle here, let's see what's going to happen. We broke back up. So at this point, we had this huge down, well, not huge, but this big move here, and then we reversed it with this. And now we are at the top of that big candle. So I'm going to say anything above 93.75, so 94 even, we're going to go long. This is a little more aggressive. I could definitely see it coming up and making a lower high here, but let's see what happens. I do like that volume there. Okay, and it saved me the decision there because it did not break above. And now we're back down here. Let's see what happens. And it looks like we are breaking down right here. So again, just like over here, once this failed to give us an entry, which it did not go to 94, you could actually play this on the break of this bar right here, or even this one. You know, this level right here that was so strong right here, it broke past it. So if you want to be more aggressive, you could take that short. I'm not going to do it for the purpose of the video, but just something to be aware of. and we pulled back, and now it looks like we're making our way back up to the 21 EMA. Let's see what it does. And look at that, it tagged it perfectly, and then it matched this up candle. So I'm going to wait an extra bar just to see. I want it to break past this previous up candle and then another bar for an entry. Okay, so it's past all of this congestion right here on this one. So we would go short at 89.25, which is the next tick below this one right here. And it reversed, look at that. And we did not get knocked into the trade, so we know now that it's not going down for the time being. So it pulled up, it went sideways on top of the 21 EMA, and it looks like it may go higher here. Let's see what happens. And it does. And now we're waiting for a pullback. Okay, and now we're back at the 21 EMA. It's 2 p.m. here. We got about an hour left in the trade. And look at that. It pulled back. Got this big candle here. Anything above 95.75, we'd go long. So 1996, we want to go long. The only risk here is that 96 is the high here. You may want to wait till 1996.25. For the purpose of the video, I'm going to go ahead and play my strategy to a T. So 1996 even, we want to get in on this trade long. And we came up and tagged the high, so we would be in this trade. And we're pulling back, and there we go. So 1996, it went up to 97. So that is our point right there. That is 3 successful trades on the day. And we continued a little bit higher there. And it looks like we're at the close here. Yes, we are closed. So there you go. It's another second day of bar by bar chart review. We had 3 successful trades. We did not have any losses again today. So that's 2 days in a row, I believe, that we had 3 successful trades. That does not happen every day. Do not think you're going to win every day. And I'm not doing this real time. I'm simulating real time, going back and going bar by bar. And I do not review the chart beforehand. That's for my benefit and your benefit, because I don't want to know what's coming up. I want to play it as I see it coming up on the screen. The only difference is that the bar is not moving. It's not completely live. So that's pretty much it. There's only one other thing I wanted to show you. Yesterday's video, I discussed this. I drew a trend line for the overnight action in the close of the previous day. So I drew this here, and it came back and played it overnight, and it played it again right there. And then I mentioned during the day, the following day, it came up and it almost touched it. If I reworked this to better touch the candles, it might actually have touched it here, which is kind of interesting because I drew this way before I even knew that would happen. Now what I noticed is, this is my tick chart. If I go over to my regular candlestick chart, look at this. This is the same area right here. This trend line right here. I connected it here into the overnight. It played it during the day. It played it in the following overnight. And look at that. It's playing it again over here. So look how many touches this has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At least 9 or 10 touches on this trend line that I just randomly drew in to show the overnight and the close of the previous day. It followed through to the next overnight, to the next day, and the next overnight. So I mean, that's just kind of cool that you can draw these trend lines in, and they might not even be worked on immediately, but the market will come back and work on them in the next few days if it does not leave this area. So trend lines, they work. The more touches, the better. Draw them in, leave them until the stock completely moves away and they become irrelevant. That's it for today. This video is getting kind of long. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Any questions, let me know. I'm going to continue doing these videos. I really like the bar by bar format because that gives me an idea of what it might have looked like when it was live. I don't want to just come up on a chart and mark it up and say, okay, this is obvious, this is obvious, this is obvious, because it's not as the day is unraveling. So that's it. Have a good night. Happy trading. Good luck.